Hey guys, welcome back to another wrestling review. It's the review of SummerSlam. But before we get into that review, I just want to let you guys know that I now have a Discord server. The link to that will be down in the description box below. Make sure you go and join that server so this way you know whenever we drop the next wrestling review, and also ring that bell for the notifications to know whenever we drop a brand new wrestling review, because these are here to stay. So with that out of the way, we're back again with Campo. This time we're doing our review of SummerSlam. SummerSlam was an event by the WWE, premium live event, as they call it. Yeah, it was an event.
I mean, yeah, if I,
It's one of the big four
he gave me his login, so I no longer have to suffer through life of.
with Putty.
No, I don't mind it with Putty, but at least I can actually watch things now,
Yeah,
without having to make sure that someone else is there to watch it.
yeah.
But yeah, this was a thing.
We were supposed to get together for this one, but things fell through
Yeah, which is
on,
probably a good thing.
on both sides. On both
it was
sides.
it was probably a good decision. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I feel a lot worse today than I did yesterday.
Oh shit. All right. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get right into the event. The first match of the night was Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. It was a 15-minute match. The first thing I noticed as soon as the show started, the entranceway.
Yeah, it was really lackluster.
It not only that, it angled.
Yeah, but they do that a lot. A lot of their shows have that weird angle. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But usually with an outdoor stadium show, they have that long ramp.
Recently they do, but if you go back and watch when they first started doing stadium shows, there's a lot of them that have like an L when they
Yeah.
came out. But yeah, I mean, number one, I just want to say they know how to do spectacle. They understand how to put on a big event like this, where
Yeah.
none of the other companies seem to get that yet. I don't think arenas are. I mean, stadiums are the way to go for wrestling. I really don't. I'm sure it's profitable, and that's why we do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the intimacy, especially like in a New Japan sense, where when you do have that big
Yeah.
Tokyo Dome event, it's like special. WWE, every single one of them is in one of these stadiums now of the big four, and it's
Yeah.
like it's tiresome. But I mean, they do know what they're doing
But I
in
mean, just
terms of
even
setting
this
it up.
past few nights in New Japan, they were in that small arena, and they keep saying not a bad seat in the house, because there isn't a bad seat in the
No, and
house
it makes it
because it's so
so
small.
like Ring
Yeah.
of Honor, the Ring of Honor event. There, every seat was probably amazing in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is fine. I'm sure there was a lot of terrible floor seats for this.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to them lying about the attendance later.
Later in the show. Um.
But
Yeah.
did
Go
this
on.
match? So I know you didn't like this match.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I have problems with it, which I'll say, but I didn't mind it. It was fine. I really like that they let it go 15 minutes, because I've
Yes.
noticed, if you didn't see this recently, most of the Becky Lynch pay-per-view matches that happened this year, they're like
9 to 11.
6 minutes and they're
Yeah.
over. And it's like, what? But especially for Bianca, like, okay, Becky's a really good wrestler. So, but I've already touched on her doing stuff like this. But for Bianca, this felt really out of place. Everything felt soft.
This was not her best showing.
They were barely connecting with anything. Becky Lynch completely missed a kick
Yep.
and a drop kick, but Bianca still sold it.
Yeah. There's even one point where Becky's on the top rope and Bianca's like, you could see her like kind of moving closer and closer. Like, there's too much talking in the match too. You could see them talking to each other the whole time.
This should have been a fantastic match.
On paper, it could have been, yes.
It had some solid moments. I liked the way it ended. It got really intense towards the end of the match. The move on the outside.
I don't like the fact though that Becky kept working on Bianca's arm, but yet she's still able to do the power moves with the arm.
Yeah, and Bianca's not there yet in terms of being
Selling
like a package. Like, she
Yeah.
has the power move, she has the skill. Her character sucks. Her like she doesn't know how to sell. But I find that a lot in WWE, where even in AEW, kind of, when you watch New Japan and the guy like rolls around on the floor for 20 minutes, it's like, which we'll get to later in this, where they didn't do the right way. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a really good, there was a decent story told here in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was, I mean, it wasn't to me. I just put this was not Bianca's best showing.
It was not. It was not terrible. It was whatever.
No, I don't know. There's something. For me, it was the selling. The selling didn't. It took my immersion out of the match.
That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. What took me out was the amount of missed strikes that still got sold. Yeah. It really bothered me. But you're too professional.
She's selling the wrong thing. That's the thing. That's I think a good way of putting it. You're not selling the arm, but you're selling the missed hits.
Yeah, which is like, to me, in my opinion, even when it was happening with Becky, you look better as a wrestler if she missed the drop kick. Just move back and make it look like you dodged it. Why sell and then make you both look like idiots? Yeah. Bianca, you can do it again. You could throw her into the ropes again and just do it again.
And try it again, yeah. For some reason, Corey Graves was a face announcer in this match. He was like rooting for Bianca, which makes no sense.
So I'll tell you what happened. And I never noticed this. I watched a bunch of videos today, and apparently Triple H has allowed them to be themselves. So that's why you didn't get super heel Corey Graves this time. That's why everything felt more organic. They were told by Vince, apparently, and Michael Cole, I don't know if Michael Cole said this or somebody else said this, but that they were not allowed to have banter between each other during matches.
Yeah.
Like, how, what? That's the best part of the
like when Taz and Excalibur have that small talk with each other is the best part.
When Chris Jericho is there on Friday nights, that is legendary. Go back when William Regal comes out and they're just going back and forth. That's what you're there for. You know what I mean? And it's
so if anything is lackluster in the ring, they're there to cover it up.
Yeah.
With the no banter, you get awkward silences sometimes.
Be entertaining. Yeah. But yeah, they so there was something they did, and we'll get to that. The announcing, I still have issues with WWE, but it was a lot better in terms of the team.
Yeah, there was something. What did Corey Graves? Corey Graves said something about Michael Cole. Something, you can't seem to find the words without somebody chirping in your ear or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I liked it, and you know me and how I feel about WWE announcing,
especially with Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Bianca retains.
Rightfully so.
I kind of was. That was the right decision to keep.
I was worried they were going to give it back to Becky.
Yeah, that was my fear too. And then after the match was over, we finally, after a year and a half, get the return of Bayley.
So, unfortunately, I already knew this was going to happen.
It was spoiled. Yep.
The source for it was absolutely spot on how it was going to happen, and I honestly never believed the internet, but it was.
Let's quote the source. Who was the one that?
Oh, I'm not going to do this.
Okay,
you guys got to find your own sources.
Okay, and then the one that really surprised me was a returning Dakota Kai.
Yeah, so I barely know who that is, and she got absolutely zero pop.
Dakota's my girl, though.
The crowd was fucking silent while she walked out, which I found super weird because for Bayley, it was so loud.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Bayley either. She's a fine wrestler, but.
And then you had, apparently now it's Io Sky. Io Shirai, the genius of the sky, makes her, I guess, main roster appearance. Yeah. She hasn't been on the main roster before.
So
former NXT Women's Champion, probably one of the greatest Japanese female wrestlers next to Asuka.
Definitely in the States.
Yeah.
I've always liked her. I've always thought her character was really cool. Her wrestling skills are great.
She's tough. She makes it look believable when she hits you. For someone who's a little smaller.
Her and Asuka have a match. Like a real super pay-per-view
worthy.
But apparently Triple H had been working behind the scenes, making sure that they were gonna to come back. Even Dakota. When Vince was still there, he had he was creating secret plans or something to bring them back to put them on the main roster. And then once Vince was out, he just did it. So this was not planned apparently pre-Vince. As soon as Vince was out, this all happened.
And that gets me to thinking. Remember a few weeks ago when both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn re-signed with the company? Do you think maybe they knew too what was going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, and
that's why
this team was proposed by Bayley, and Vince told her no.
Yeah, because they're all three really good friends too. So I'm interested to see what happens with this. We're gonna get and then the three are gonna gang up on Bianca. Bianca is laughing like almost as if she were excited about it.
I mean, yeah, I don't really care about that. I'd like to see Bianca and Becky become a team.
Yeah, which looks like that's what's gonna happen. And now we need a third member to that group to face Bayley and her crew. Do you think it's going to be returning Sasha Banks and Asuka, Alexa?
It's going to be that other girl that looks
Naomi?
like Dakota Kai.
Tegan Knox?
No, what the one with the green hair?
Oh, Shotzi.
Yeah, it's going to be like Shotzi or something.
Okay. Yeah, because she's been off TV for a while.
Oh, you said Alexa.
Yeah, you hear her going off in the background. Alexa, stop.
God. I just realized that. I was like, what's that noise? They're like, oh, you said Alexa.
Good thing I'm wearing headphones so she can't hear you.
Nice.
But next match, and I was wondering why Corey kept calling her Io Sky.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, but she owns the rights, I think, to the name Io Shirai. So they remember WWE's not letting anybody
use their actual name.
It's not her actual name, but like she owns the rights to that. So they want to already own everything about you while you're in WWE.
Yeah.
So that way, when you leave, they can keep selling product.
Yeah, true. Next match, again, a match way better than it had any right to be, which was the Miz versus Logan Paul.
So not only was this match better than it had any right to be, it was a fucking amazing match.
Logan Paul impressed me. Like, say what you will about the guy.
He jumped 20 feet
from the turnbuckle,
frog splash through a table, and he bounced hard off the table.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even moves that veterans can't do, like standing moonsaults off the apron. This dude went all out.
Yeah, he did. What do you I forget the name of the move? When you jump off the top rope and you give them like a neck breaker.
A blockbuster.
They hit, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was such a good match. I really enjoyed it.
From a celebrity on his second match
ever
against a bottom Carter.
No, Miz knows how to put
Miz. I'm not saying he can't wrestle, but
he knows how to put people over.
He is absolutely no longer even a mid Carter in terms of status, is what I'm saying.
He's there solely to put people over.
Yeah, and Jesus. And okay, I have a question actually. So he had like a little piece of plastic, which definitely wasn't going to hurt anybody anyways. But then he went to go hit Logan, and Logan moved. Did he hit Maurice?
No, he stopped and he dropped it.
Because like the way they made it seem, the announce team, this is an issue that I had.
Yeah,
is that they made it seem like he hit her with it,
and Maurice even sold it like she got hit.
But then she stopped. As soon as she landed on the floor, she acted fine again. And I was like, I'm so confused. What just happened?
He did not hit her. He stopped just short.
Okay.
And that's what led to the Logan Paul finishing the match and winning the match.
And that was awesome. He was like, watch what I'm going to do to your husband.
Yeah. And it was, like I said, halfway through the match, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. AJ Styles isn't on the card. And here he comes and he kind of brawls with Tommaso Ciampa to get him out of after he got kicked out of the match.
Fun. I'll take it. That was fun.
I'll take a Ciampa versus AJ Styles. I'm not going to argue with that.
I mean, at this point, I'm going to take Logan Paul against anybody.
Yeah. I could see that.
This is the state of WWE.
I never thought I'd hear myself say that. Yeah, I'll take Logan Paul right now.
Yeah, I would.
And he signed a long-term deal with them too, so
my thing is, and like as wrestling fans, real wrestling fans, like no disrespect to anybody who like thinks I'm saying they're not. Nobody wants to see Logan Paul.
No.
I understand you're trying to sell tickets, and I had this argument with a guy on Instagram. Not an argument, we had a discussion.
It's for social media clout. He
just kept trying to sell me on the fact that it's making money, and I'm like, yes, I understand that. That's fine. That's fine. But I, as a wrestling fan, don't want a pay-per-view that I have to wait months to get to see a match with Logan Paul. Mind you, it ended up being great, but neither one of us would have known that at the time.
No.
But But the point is that, like, I understand a lot of the things they're doing in WWE, but it's like, how many times do I have to see Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair? How many times am I going to watch Austin Theory versus
Bobby Lashley?
Like, it's just like, you have so many other people in AEW, in Impact, in New Japan. They're not booking the same match every pay-per-view. How the fuck are you doing that? I'm sorry, I'm getting so upset.
And now with Vince gone, maybe we're gonna see some of these guys get a bigger push, like Ricochet, like Gunter, like
you
Nakamura.
Can make someone's career by, you don't even need to put gold on them. You can just make it so Asuka gets more chances to fight for the title.
Yeah.
Rather than being fodder in tag team matches and group matches.
Yeah, when like you said though, when Logan Paul made that frog spot, I didn't think he was going to make it.
I freaked out. I legit freaked out. I paused it.
I said, "Holy shit, he's going to kill himself."
I rewatched it like 5-6 times. When my brother-in-law came, I made him watch it. So
yeah, but yeah, it was a fantastic match. Logan Paul goes over, which surprised me, but didn't surprise me. Miz is such a good heel, and he knows how to put somebody over.
Miz needs to be in a faction, and he needs to be the mouthpiece of the faction and not actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Not because he can't wrestle, because he no longer has clout. He needs to be just like the talker, and then you have Tommaso Ciampa, give him some more people, give him like a good solid stable of guys.
Yeah. And then you could lead to, once again, him turning on him and leading to something. Yeah.
Especially the way that they are right now at this state of leading into this pre-Triple H. WWE has not done a good job with factions for like the last 10 years.
Because as soon as they start a faction, they break them up. Judgment Day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about Judgment Day.
But
until we have to.
Next match, really short match. Theory versus Bobby Lashley, 4.5 minutes. The crowd booed the shit out of Austin Theory.
I hate that this feud has made me a fan of Bobby Lashley, because I don't like Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, I even had this written down. Theory has the talent. He has the raw ability. I think he's just stuck with a bad gimmick.
He's also not ready yet. He needed more time to develop, and they didn't. They just threw him there and were like, we're going to give you the belt.
Yeah. But
sorry, that was my Vince McMahon impression.
But I think that with him with the Money in the Bank, we're going to get a lot of teases, but no cash-ins until his year is up.
Well, he technically cashed in, but it got cut off. We'll talk about that eventually.
Later. But it was short. It was fine.
So I have one thing I want to say. It wasn't a bad match.
Nope.
Bobby Lashley absolutely squashed him. But this is one of the issues that I had with the announcing. So Theory does a drop kick. He hits Bobby Lashley right here on the arm. Okay? Clearly. They go drop kick to the side of the face. They replay it twice, showing that he got hit in the side of the arm, and and both times the announcers were like, look at that hit to the side of the face. And it's like, bro, we all just watched it 3 times.
It's at the arm.
It's like,
but that's the
thing. You don't need to sell the match for me.
Yeah. Theory has a beautiful drop kick, though.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Like I said, the talent is there. He just needs time to work on the character, work on what works for him, I guess.
Yeah, and the announce team just needs to chill. You're watching it. I am too. You're watching it on your little screen. You can see that he didn't get hit in the face. Why would you make yourself look stupid to say that? I'm sorry. Okada also has the best drop kick in the business.
Yes, he does. I'm not saying it was the best. I'm just saying it's a beautiful drop kick. It was a short squash match, 4.5 minutes. Lashley retains. Next, we have the Judgment Day versus the Mysterios. Match went 11 minutes.
I liked it.
It was good. It was very good.
Rey Mysterio did a lot of really inventive things.
Yeah. Even though they look like McDonald's had a baby with Hulk Hogan.
Dominic, I literally wrote this down. Dominic looks in that yellow thing, looked like a human cheeseburger. He's so out of shape for such a young guy. He's so like flabby and out of shape. It's like,
even though he's agile, if he were to just lean up a little bit, like,
yeah, look how jacked Ray is still.
yeah.
And he even has a belly and he's still jacked.
Yeah.
When he slid out of the ring on that chair, that was dope.
That was awesome. Yeah. Human cheeseburger.
Edge came, that was dope.
Yeah, full brood.
Yeah,
like he came out with the brood music, the flames. Just cleaned house because it was a no DQ match. He was obviously allowed to do whatever he wanted. And the Mysterios go over. Where does this lead? You think Dominic's going to turn on his father, join Judgment Day, and we're going to get Edge and Ray against...
I think he's going to turn, but I don't know when. I don't know what it's going to be for. I don't know what the Edge angle is going to be. I'm really confused right now, but like I wrote down here, in brackets, I put sarcastically as fuck. Oh my God, no way, Edge. I totally wasn't expecting that.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, everyone knew Edge was going to be there.
The only
Rey
thing
Mysterio uses the bottom rope. Have you ever seen him bounce off the ropes? Mm-hmm. And he bounced off the bottom rope. That's how short he is. Like, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. I just
the other thing I had here too was it was a no DQ match. I would have liked to see a tornado tag. If it's no DQ, you don't need to tag.
Yeah, I don't want that ever anymore. I want all tag matches to be tornado matches.
All 4 guys in the ring. If it's a tag, if it's a no DQ match,
I need WWE to get more inventive with doing no DQ matches. Get tables. Give me heavy duty table stuff.
Yeah.
Not the announce table, because as everyone knows by now, it completely just folds and it's created so that it like protects the wrestlers.
It's designed to fall apart on impact.
It doesn't feel shocking anymore. Unless you're Logan Paul jumping like across the whole arena to do
right,
that.
But we've had how many table breaks in this show? At least 3.
Yeah, they just push it back up together, and it's just
it's like IKEA furniture.
Yeah,
right.
I saw Michael Cole's 5-hour energy on the table.
Yes, people still drink that shit.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, today I had the Red Bull, the new peach apricot flavor.
I told you, it's amazing.
That peach apricot, yeah. I bought a bunch of them because they were so
regular
good.
Peach is also fantastic.
Yeah? Okay. But summer flavors, it won't be around for long. There's your Red Bull plug. Next match, Mysterios, I already said Mysterios go over in 11 minutes. Next match was Baron Corbin versus Pat McAfee, 10 minutes. I don't know. It was a good offensive showing by Pat.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let you talk about this, because I've never not wanted to finish watching a match ever in my life as much as this.
It's Baron Corbin, isn't it?
It's Pat McAfee is not good. Like, I thought he was really good last time, but I'm realizing it's the person in the ring that's helping him look good.
Yeah, and this time, because it was Baron Corbin,
it made it even worse.
He
did a good job. He sold for him well, but and like you said, he does good offense, but the offense only looks good because Corbin is selling it to look good. In the early part of the match, Pat looked like he was completely lost.
Yeah. There was one point in the match though, which really shocked me. I forgot what happened, but he said to Corbin, "Your dad would be embarrassed." And Corbin got legit mad because Corbin's dad is dead. And he got really mad at Michael Cole for saying that.
Did he actually?
Yeah. Yeah, you could see it on his face. Like, what the hell did you just say? Like, my father's dead. Like, he lost his father a few years ago to, like, I think it was some like, I don't know the exact name of the disease, but it was. And
WWE, I mean, wrestling nowadays, nobody's sacred. So
yeah, but that one was a little. Another ref bump in this one. Ref gets bumped. Pat punches Corbin in the nuts and wins.
I want to take back my complaint about Logan Paul's match before watching SummerSlam. I didn't even know this match was on the card. This is the match I would have complained about. Yeah. No more Corbin, just no more. And no more Pat. Just fire him. I don't want to ever see him again.
Not even as a commentator.
I told you, he has this whole fake bravado thing now where he's like a character, and I can't stand it. It's not good. You're not a good actor.
Well,
do your dumb podcast.
They say be yourself times 10. And this is Pat McAfee times 10. And Pat McAfee was never a good character to begin with.
Yeah.
His whole goal, he's always wanted to be a wrestler. And this is how he's living out his fantasy. And
this is an issue I have too, right? And this goes back to the Logan Paul thing in the sense that you're already rich, you're already famous, you already have everything you want, and then you're coming in here, you're stealing people's jobs. Okay, Logan Paul's good, but if I'm another wrestler, especially a good wrestler who's being sidelined because of this, I'm mad.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I would have rather, to be honest, I would have rather watched a 10-minute match with Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, facing Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Or Ricochet, just like destroying him with speed. You know what I mean? Like to tell the whole David and Goliath story.
Can we just talk about this?
Or Shinsuke Nakamura against Corbin.
Shinsuke should be on every pay-per-view. How many pay-per-views of WWE have we watched now? 8, 7?
Yeah.
No. 6,
I
think.
Yeah.
And
we watched the 2 Mania nights. We watched Backlash. We watched Hell in a Cell. We watched Money in the Bank. SummerSlam.
6. So, there's never been an Intercontinental defense.
No. Not on any show so far.
Huh? Was there even a women's tag team defense?
No. I don't think, unless there was one on
WrestleMania,
Mania.
there was a 3-way.
Yeah, women's tag match.
But it's like,
I think those titles are done.
Good.
There's no good unless they bring them back with the whole Bayley and Bianca type of thing. But then again, your heavyweight champ should not be in the tag team. Your women's champion should not be in the tag team division.
Yeah, I agree. Unless it's Thunder Rosa.
Yes, Thunderstorm. But yeah, not a very good match. I really didn't care for it.
I'm telling you, this whole it's not even that it was a turd of a match. I just didn't care. When I saw Pat walk out, I was like, "Why is this match here?" I was so upset. Like my brain just shut off. I'm like, I don't want to watch.
It's like watching Bad Luck Fale versus Lance Archer.
Exactly.
We don't need this match.
This was worse than that.
Or Tom Lawler. We don't need
that. It wasn't worse than that. That was really bad.
But yeah, I mean. Then we had this weird Drew McIntyre promo. We already knew Drew McIntyre is going to be facing Roman Reigns next month at the Clash at the Castle. Like, that was a given. The poster art, I showed you the poster art. It's them two on the front. You know it's happening.
A lot of the channels, like What Culture and stuff, are saying that Drew's going to win.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't think so. They're saying that. I think we'll talk about this.
They want that feel good moment of a UK wrestler or a Scottish wrestler.
But the problem is, if he wins, spoilers for what's coming later. If he wins, he takes both titles, which I don't understand the logic of WWE here. Every one of these matches where they have both titles should be only one of them on the line. It shouldn't be both, because then you're just taking both titles and giving it to somebody else to hold 2 titles.
I think now with Triple H coming back into the fold, either they're going to split the titles again, or they're going to just have one belt and the champs on both shows.
Yeah.
Which is one. With the second one?
Yeah.
I mean, or you can do something along the lines like Drew, you thought it was for both. No, you just won the World Heavyweight Championship. You're not the Universal Champion. And Roman is still this way. It still makes Roman strong. He's still the longest reigning Universal Champion, but at least you split the belts up again.
Acceptable.
Or Theory pins someone.
Oh my God, too much fantasy booking.
Okay, Theory pins someone, but because he only has one briefcase, he can only choose one belt.
Okay, so Drew McIntyre beats Roman Reigns.
Right.
And then he comes out and pins Drew McIntyre, but he only gets one of the belts. But are they both on the same show? No, they're not, right?
No. Drew can stay on SmackDown and Theory can stay on Raw.
It's funny, when you open up the WWE Network, the picture for the SmackDown and the picture for the Raw, there's like no good wrestlers on the SmackDown picture.
Except Roman. Roman's on the Raw picture. And Roman's not even on Raw.
Yeah, I know. So SmackDown just has Drew McIntyre, basically.
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, next match of the night, we had the Usos versus the Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett as the special guest referee. I did not like Jeff Jarrett in this match.
I didn't care that he was there. I thought he was fine. It was kind of distracting, though. The Street Profits were booked really poorly in this. This was not nearly as good of a match as the last one that they had. In fact, they booked this in a way that made the Usos look so much better this time.
Yeah.
That the Street Profits didn't even belong in a match with them. Not to mention the Street Profits screwed up their own chance to win multiple times by arguing with Jeff Jarrett instead of just doing stuff.
It was a shorter match than the last match by about 10 minutes. And it was a screwy finish, too. It was a weird finish.
Yeah, and I think the Usos are great.
Yeah.
But I'm just tired of it.
The Usos could go down as one of the greatest WWE tag teams of all time.
They're going to go down as one of the greatest, period. But I think it's the Street Profits prove themselves at Hell in a Cell or whatever the hell.
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. And this was their chance at the big time to win one of the titles at least.
Yeah.
And you just were like, no, the Usos are going to keep winning. And that happens again later.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You're not you're not selling me on like a heel idea here. You're making me not want to watch your product anymore.
Agreed. With the next match or with that last match of the night, I'll tell you what could have been at least made it a little bit more interesting towards the end. But yeah, it's the Usos know how to work as a team. They're a great unit. They know how to tag team wrestle. Like it makes me think what could have been when they had that feud with FTR if they took FTR seriously.
They had the Young Bucks
and
the FTRs.
Yeah. But anyway, shorter match than normal. Next we went to a short, I guess I wouldn't call it a match, but we had a Matt Riddle promo.
It was like a little thing. I was skipping ahead here at this point, and then I realized I was like, "Oh, what the hell happened?" And I had to rewind. Remember when I was like, I couldn't figure out how I ended up falling back behind?
It's because you had to rewind to watch the Riddle.
Because I caught up by skipping all the promos, and then when I got here, I had to go back. So I was like,
can we talk about how many promos?
Yeah, you were right. In the first hour, there's like 27 minutes of promos.
Yeah, on a 4-hour show. They're padding for time is what they're doing. Oh, look how great our show is. It's 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours with 15-minute matches.
And a lot of it is commercials.
Yeah. How many times did we see that Kevin Owens vignette?
How many times did we watch a stupid Miz commercial where he's talking to those kids?
Yeah. So at least there were no recaps. That's one thing Triple H hates is recaps of what happened 30 seconds ago.
That's good. I like that.
So it was first thing I noticed, Matt Riddle has a great manicure and great pedicure.
Yeah.
So
second thing I noticed is that he needs to put shoes on because it makes me frustrated.
You hate barefoot wrestlers?
So does Putty. It's just like a thing. Like it doesn't feel right. It just seems it comes off silly. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Like I mean, if it were an MMA fight, it's different because they don't wear shoes or anything.
Yeah, it's like, and then even as like a wrestling booker, I'm worried because all it's gonna take is a chair to drop on his foot and he's done. Someone steps on his toe, he's done.
Yeah, that's what happened with Rusev when he was out for a year almost with a broken ankle because he didn't wear shoes originally. So, but it was a short little kerfuffle, I guess you can call it. I'm questioning whether the injuries will work and they ran out of time, so they took the match off the card. Maybe.
I think that Triple H didn't want this match.
We all know how much Triple H loves Seth Rollins.
I think that this was a lot of the stuff here was like little bits of Triple H because they said that Triple H was going to have stuff here that you would notice that was very not Vince and Triple H-esque. And this could be helping to build this storyline, so it's actually a storyline and not just a one-day thing they put together to make a.
Because I've noticed that's what Seth has, until the feud with Cody, Seth has just been opponent after opponent that doesn't mean anything.
Yes, and Riddle has also been the same thing too. And
he's stuck in a loop, Riddle, without Randy.
Yeah, I agree. And also, Triple H is making good things here. They're also gonna make Raw 2 hours again, is what he wants to do.
Oh, really? He doesn't care about the advertising dollars. He just wants.
If you give the people the product, you'll make more money than you will off the advertising.
They actually lose money on that third hour because everybody tunes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a short little thing. If it's a worked injury and they're using it to build up the match, I'm okay with that. Like, at least have the story mean something. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Builda, the story.
Builda. There's our Triple H impression of the night. Next, we have Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Another short match. It was a good start. Liv makes it look believable. Another note I had here is I thought Rousey's titty was going to pop out at one point.
To be honest with you, I didn't even notice that. But I don't think that's the first time that happened with her.
Nope. But she just kept going back. She was just destroying Liv's arm, and Liv was finding ways to get out of it. Like, Liv was working a very smart match, and I thought this had the makings to be a really good match.
A really good match is questionable in terms of where it could go, because I think first of all, it was short. It was way too short. And I think the shortness of it, quality aside, made the match sort of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But towards the second half of the match, the domination that was being put on by,
I thought Rousey was going to just destroy her.
Yeah, you couldn't have made any more match than this, because you wouldn't be able to make it believable, which happens in the next match.
Mm-hmm.
How she would have been able to make a comeback, because Rousey was literally manhandling her, and it also proved to us kind of what we thought in the first place, is that Liv doesn't belong with a wrestler like Ronda Rousey.
Not yet, at least.
Not ever, I don't think. I think she's way too small.
Yeah.
It's like the Rey Mysterio thing. You can have probably a good match, but how many times can you make him wrestle the Big Show before we're like, okay, come on?
Yeah, it was like the whole thing he did with Kevin Nash in WCW.
Kevin Nash just friggin' threw him across the ring.
Then he tried to wear his mask.
Yeah, but it's like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, to me, I don't think that's the person that you pair her with. She would be she's a lot more suited to the Raw group of women than she is to the SmackDown group.
Yeah.
Because they're all a lot taller on SmackDown. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, and a lot tougher.
But
yeah, hey. And I mean, we had that, and then we have a weird finish where Liv pinned Rousey, but before the ref was able to count to 3, you see Liv tapping out.
Okay, so
and he missed that.
I'm gonna correct what you said. She did not pin her. She was cranked back so far in the armbar that she pinned herself.
True.
Without even noticing. Ronda didn't even notice that she was being pinned. And then Liv tapped out, which, okay, I get it. You're protecting both of them. But I screamed at this point, and my brother-in-law was like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, this is such a cop-out. Like, this is the exact WWE bullshit that I hate.
Yeah,
I'm glad you protected both of them. That's fine. But, like, the match has been on for, like, 6 minutes. And you ended it by her accidentally
4.5.
getting
I
pinned.
keep a stopwatch. 4.5 minutes.
She accidentally got pinned. And what? And then Steve goes, watch, in like 20 seconds, she's going to put the ref in an armbar, and he leaves the room and doesn't. I'm like, she has him in an arm lock.
Yeah. Yeah. They're making
it. What the fuck?
Rousey's going full heel.
They need to get real wrestlers to fight her.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather see like Baszler, Natalia, like.
Give me Baszler and her. Why is this not happening?
They won't fight each other, I think, because they're best friends or something.
It's a fucking wrestling match.
So are McAfee and Corbin. They had a match. But yeah,
You know
it
what?
had the
It's like
makings. It had the makings of a good match, but too short, and I don't like the finish.
WWE is exactly what the JAS is making fun of.
Yeah,
They're not
in the world
about
of
wrestling
sports
at all.
entertainment.
They're only about sports and entertainment. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all they care about.
Yeah,
They don't care about anything about
they don't.
really the
They
matches,
focus more on the entertainment part and not enough on the sports part.
which is like, come on, like you had a bunch of solid matches here on paper.
But there's no follow through.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whereas like matches that like take what we're doing with New Japan, and some of those matches, like the El Fantasmo match that we talked about on yesterday's show, had no right to be as good as it was. There was no storyline leading into it. There was no anything, but yet it was a fantastic match and it told a great story in the ring. That to me is sports entertainment, not the spectacle. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But next, we have your favorite part. My literally is where the fuck did they find Kane? But then I looked
he's
up.
a mayor in Tennessee.
He's the mayor of some city not just outside of Knoxville. So announces the attendance of, was it 47 or 46?
No, he said 44.
686
or something.
Yeah.
And then immediately Michael Cole says 45,000. And then
by the end of the night, it's at 48.
At the end of the night, they were saying 48. And then today, I don't know, did we send it to each other? They were reporting that there was 50,000 people.
Yeah. We were discussing that as I was watching.
And then pictures surfaced that the whole entire upper side on the, not on the hard cam, on the opposite side was completely empty.
Was empty, yeah.
Which tells me that you definitely didn't even have 40,000 people there. People were saying the number was closer to 31,000.
They probably had 48 or 44,000 tickets sold. But then again, you also got to remember people that hold season tickets for the arena, people that had tickets that didn't even bother showing up, people that had tickets that
radio stations that buy tickets that give them away and the people don't go to the thing, like stuff like that. 100%, I get that.
Scalpers with a bunch of tickets that never got any tickets sold because they're probably asking too much money. Tickets that are on StubHub or resale on Ticketmaster. Like there's that would probably account for about 10,000 tickets. So yeah, I can understand you had 50,000 tickets sold, but in actuality, 7,000 did not show up. To
it was it was like 33,000 or something like that. Was apparently the actual number
of actual tickets.
And we saw it when they zoomed out. The floor had huge chunks of it without seats even set up.
But yeah, like 33,000 is what the stadium reported through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like, or 37,000, something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember the number,
yeah,
but it was not. It was not.
But that's the actual ticket scanned through the door.
Yeah, and then they said 44 something, and then every time they talked about it, it went up by 1,000.
By 1,000. Yeah.
At the end of the night, they're like 48,000 people on their feet. Like what?
Almost 50,000 people.
I was like, what's happening right now? Like
more people are coming to the match.
These are the things about the announcing that I don't like. Mind you, like I said, it got better.
Yeah, but that's Michael Cole still feeling Vince McMahon's presence. You know what I mean?
Triple H was like, "Don't tell them the attendance."
Which leads us into our main event of the night, a last man standing match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
90% of a good match.
Yeah. Still a shit show.
They gave me attitude, ruthless aggression era type gimmicky stuff. That was fun. Flipping the ring over with a tractor.
Just a tractor in general. Like,
oh, look, there's a tractor. Yeah, because nobody saw someone drive in that house-sized tractor and park it there for Brock Lesnar. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It wasn't there 10 minutes ago.
When he jumps off the tractor with the Thez press right before the match starts, like that, I thought Brock was going to kill himself.
I thought he was going to break a leg. I was like, oh, this match is going to end right now.
Yeah, because Brock's got those spindly little legs. Like, he definitely skips leg day.
But, I mean, I have a lot. Like, it wasn't a bad match. I'm not going to go out of my way to say it was like amazing. It was good.
Brock looked leaner. He looks like he lost a few pounds. Like he shed some pounds.
Really put on a show.
Yeah,
really, he did. And I just got to say, before we get to like the meat and potatoes of it, early on, there was like 2 or 3 times where Roman got up at like the 9 count or the 8 count, but he wasn't on his feet. He was leaning over the thing, or he was
on
like,
a knee.
He was on a knee, and they stopped the count. But for Brock Lesnar, every time he had to stand all the way up before they stopped the count.
That was a telltale sign for me that I knew Brock.
And you even said it. You messaged me and said, "Watch, that's exactly what's going to happen because it's happened before."
Yeah, exactly. And like if you notice the ref count too, he's when Brock is on the floor, he just counts straight 1, 2, 3. When Roman's on the floor, when he gets to about 5 or 6, he has more of a hesitation and stops counting. There was one point in the match, Brock won. When Heyman is arguing with Lesnar, here, just take the belts. You've won. Stop. The ref just stopped counting. Why did the ref stop counting?
Also, technically, the manager's like his power of attorney. By him saying that, don't they forfeit the match?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have one right there?
Yeah. That's exactly it. But like, I mean, the ref should have just kept counting.
The ref didn't count at all. He didn't even say 1 at that point. He just didn't count.
No, he did count. He got to about 6, and then he was just watching Brock and Heyman have the exchange.
And then, I don't know, man. It got really bad.
It got convoluted towards the end.
To watch Brock Lesnar beat him down the way that he did, and I know in real life it wasn't a hard move, but when he dumped him out of the tractor in kayfabe, you're like, holy shit, he's dead now, basically, right? He got up.
Yeah.
He kept getting up. But then one super kick from the Usos and the whole match changed and Brock Lesnar's dead.
Yep.
But he got up. He's fine now. Roman Reigns is fine. Nothing happened. Yeah.
He only fell 10 feet out of a tractor, but
like, and then they're freaking out about him keep getting up. And it's like, you got up all those times too. Why was nobody like shocked at you getting up?
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. I was hoping Austin Theory would have helped to make sure Brock Lesnar won somehow.
But as soon as he came in, Brock Lesnar put him in the F5 and like knocked him out, and he was dead. He got counted out of like one F5 on Theory by Brock, and Theory's out for the whole.
And I thought that too. I was yelling the whole time. I'm like, when Roman was on the floor for all those counts, I would have just F5, 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 F5 until he was dead, and then I would have just stood there and let him count to 10.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem that WWE has, is they just absolutely give up on being realistic in any way sometimes.
Yeah. It went from what had the makings of a great street fight to just like almost comical.
Just straight nonsense. The flipping of the ring was so cool. I was like, this is just like the milk truck or something coming out.
Or when Lesnar suplexed the Big Show and all the ropes break kind of thing, like in the ring collapses.
Exactly. Or like the thing I told you guys when I gave you guys that whole story where they're fighting in the grave match, and then the ambulance backs up and Stone Cold comes running out of the back of the ambulance and just starts thundering everybody. And then he puts the rock in the ambulance.
And the whole tractor thing, that is definitely Triple H's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, and I really like that.
And I think that's because there was talks before, like a week ago, that Brock was upset with Vince retiring and he was going to walk out of the company. And I don't know how real that was, but Triple H, I think, went to Brock and said, okay, what do you want to do in this match? And Brock's like, I want a goddamn tractor.
It was very DX.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And like I said, this was a pretty good match. It just, in that last 10% of it, it completely devolved into one of the worst.
Well, that's what I mean. When the Usos were absent from ring all match until the end. When the Usos came out, I would have rather seen the Street Profits come out and have them brawl with each other. You know what I mean?
Okay. This is 2 things I was going to say. Why wouldn't Street Profits come out and help? To stop the Usos,
especially after that finish.
Yeah. And why wouldn't Drew McIntyre come running out? Like, to me, I was just like, allowing Brock Lesnar to lose in that fight. Like, you knew once the Usos came out that Brock was not going to win.
It was done. Yeah.
Even though he knocked them down at first, you knew there eventually was going to happen. They piled up tables on him. And then
Two belt shots.
I genuinely think that Brock Lesnar was upset about it because Roman went and stood on top of the pile of shit, and I promise you that fucking hurt.
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed.
And he really threw the table on him too. He like fucking just threw it down on him.
Yeah. Like when the Usos lifted the table and just like literally dumped it on him. That shit hurts, man.
So, I mean, but they did a good job selling it on the announce team where they're like, don't touch him. They're like, don't. And it was like they were acting like they were off air. It wasn't like it was like, and I like that. I enjoyed that.
It added a little bit more believability to it.
That's the kind of stuff that I like. Vince is gone. Now we're doing smart things.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
I mean, it wasn't a bad show. The finish to the match was dumb.
I had my friends that are big WWE guys, which you know me, I'm gonna watch wrestling, regardless. But they're like really big WWE
guys. It's
guys.
funny how you're, no pun intended, how you're back all into this.
Yeah, but like just period. But these guys only watch WWE. They don't watch anything else. They've never even seen an AEW match ever or Impact or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
When I was talking to them about what they thought about what happened, they were all like, "I'm done with it. I don't want to watch WWE anymore. I'm tired of it." Between the Usos and the Ronda Rousey finish, and then the Roman Reigns, they're like, "Well, I don't care anymore."
Yeah.
Like you're losing lifelong week to week watchers because you're just refusing to have any sort of change.
But then again, you also have those people that'll love them no matter how bad the product is.
50,000 people booed WWE at the end. They were not booing Roman Reigns. They were booing that match.
They were booing the finish.
They were booing the company. They were not booing Roman Reigns. So anyone who thinks that is crazy, they straight up booed the finish of the match because everyone who watched it knows how stupid it was. Yep. How do you get beat up for 20 minutes and don't even have a slow comeback? You just immediately won the match. It was just over.
There was no build up to his comeback.
Like at least in New Japan, you would have had this whole like slow comeback, and it would have got fizzled
Someone
out.
like Tanahashi would have slowly built up to get back and like get back into the match. And
even in old school wrestling, the Hulk would have hulked up at some point, and you would have
the
been
Ultimate
like, okay,
Warrior would have
I don't know. I don't
no sell a couple hits and just go right. But I mean, wasn't a bad show. Wasn't the greatest.
I mean, none of the shows that I've watched this year, minus night 2 of WrestleMania, and was bad. New Japan Dominion was not very good, but it was okay,
decent, yeah. Yeah, there was some redeemable aspects of this show.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want a match of the night?
What's your match of the night?
The Miz versus Logan Paul. Easily. Not even close.
By a mile.
Arguably the best match since Cody versus Seth Rollins with a broken
one at was that the Hell in a Cell match or the Backlash match?
Hell in a Cell.
Where he had the torn pec.
Which that wasn't even that great of a match, but the fact that he did it in that way, I mean, that was the best match.
I completely agree with you on that point. It was the only match deserving a match of the night.
What was the worst match?
The worst match to me was Corbin McAfee.
Yeah, I agree. Because even if it was better, then
it was still the worst match.
I just didn't care. I just didn't want to watch it.
If I don't have that, at least say what I will about that Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch match, at least the interest was there. The moves were good. They were trying. The effort was there. So I give him points for that. With Corbin, I just don't have interest in him. I don't care to see Corbin. It's like I don't care to see Sammy Guevara. Like it's that.
Yeah, I have the same Sammy Guevara feeling as you.
Yeah, so it's like for me, if I'm not interested and I'm not invested, I never cared about Corbin. Nothing you're going to do to me is going to make me cheer this guy or boo this guy or have any interest in this guy. I don't care. And McAfee, like you said, he's that New Yorker times 1,000. He thinks he's like this tough guy.
But it slowly progressed into this character because before he didn't really have an accent. He didn't really act like a tough guy. Now he has this fake mafioso accent.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And like you said, there's no, at least with all the other matches, there was interest. There was huge interest in this Brock Lesnar match, even though they've had each other, met each other countless. Who was it? Drew McIntyre says, "You're getting Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the first time in this building."
Yeah, you did.
Like even Drew was poking fun at this. You know what I mean? Like we've seen it so many times. They hopefully with this new Triple H era, they give us some fresh matchups.
Give more shots. That's all I want.
Yeah.
You have a lot of wrestlers. And make NXT not an episode of Friends.
Yeah. He's already apparently there's already talks about him bringing NXT back to where it was.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to just being a developmental, he's going to bring in some of those.
It's not even developmental because you have the guy who was the champion. It doesn't need developmental.
Dolph Ziggler?
No, who was the guy the big, huge, muscly guy? The NXT champion. He was the champion for a long time.
Braun Breaker?
Braun Breaker. Isn't he still? He's still there, right?
He's still champ, yeah.
Yeah, him.
Steiner's kid.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He doesn't need developmental. Mandy Rose is one of the best female wrestlers you have. And she went back to NXT.
Yeah, because she wasn't getting a shot in WWE.
And then you have one of the best female tag teams you've ever had in
Dolan and
friggin' what's her face. And it's just like, I don't know, man. To me, it's just stupid. You have too many good wrestlers there to just make it a developmental league. You need to balance it out.
Well, there's already, even though Johnny Gargano showed up on Impact this week, there's talks about Johnny Gargano returning to WWE as well.
I heard that as well.
You know, bring back, put Gargano and Ciampa back together and have Miz be their mouthpiece and be that heel tag team.
All right. Well, no more fantasy booking. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Was this better than WrestleMania?
Better than Night 2?
As a whole.
I don't know. I think it's kind of on par.
I don't know. I have my thing open now because the way that we are, I have to like actually compare things at this point because we've watched so many. I would say I'm going to give it a score. I'm going to say 7.2. I think it was better than WrestleMania. I think it was better than Money in the Bank, but it was not better than Hell in a Cell. It was not better than Backlash. It was not better than Double or Nothing.
I was hovering around the same thing. I was going to say about a 7.1. Yeah. So I think that's fair. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't.
It was entertaining. It had some really solid moments, but I just think
they could do more.
When you handle the outcomes the way that they did, it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
You're just shitting on your own fans, and it's just kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's making the fans look stupid, which is never a good thing. But that's the end of the night for me. I agree with you. Let's meet in the middle. I'll take your 7.2. I'll agree with you on that. 7.1, 7.2. We're apples and oranges there. We both agree that the match of the night was Logan Paul versus The Miz. Much better than it had any right to be. Worst match of the night was the Pat McAfee. Yet again. So the celebrity was the best match and the celebrity was the worst match.
Just no more happy Corbin.
Yeah. Make Putty happy and bring back Madcap Moss.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah. So tune in next Monday for our week 3 review of the G1 tournament. We're winding down. It's just past the halfway point. So it's going to heat up. We're going to get some pretty spicy matches, I guess. No Curry, man, but we're going to get some spicy matches. And I'm looking forward to the way this is going to end in a couple of weeks. So with that out of the way, Campo stuff you'll find in the description below, but you guys already know this guy. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you all next time.